Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Andrew from Team Blacktop YGO here. Today I'm bringing you a video about Pendulum, the deck. I know it's a summoning mechanic in general, but basically the deck is called Pendulum. This is a very basic version of the deck. As you can see, I don't have all the same sleeves on it. Don't worry, I don't really know which ones are which when it comes to different kinds of sleeves. So I won't really pay attention to that when I'm shuffling, but I'm just going to go over some of the basics of the deck and how the deck really functions. The reason I'm doing this is, I know it's a bit old, but one of my friends who plays Yu-Gi-Oh! With some of the people from Team Blacktop YGO, he is wanting to build a Pendulum deck, and he doesn't really know the basics of it yet, I don't think. So I'm going to explain him the card choices that I sent him to buy so he can build the deck and explain what they kind of do. So right here in front of me right now, these are basically starter cards in the deck. Starter cards and starter engines are engines used to sort of put two bodies on board. That way we could make our best extra deck monster, Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. So let's explain how those work. So this one right here, this is the Dark Worm engine, named after Supreme Team Dragon Dark Worm right here. Basically you need this to get in the graveyard, or you can normal summon it, I guess, but this is one of your extenders, right, or one of your starter cards right here. So you send it to the graveyard using either Foolish Burial or Dragon Shrine, whichever one. And anyway, if it's in the graveyard and you control no monsters, you can special summon this from your graveyard. Then if it's normal or special summon, you can add a Supreme King Gate monster from your deck to your hand. So you send it to the graveyard with one of those, special summon it, and then add your Gate 0. This Gate 0 can be used as a level 7 to make one of the Odd Eyes monsters. It can be used... mainly I use it for Electromite's destroy effect to add from the extra deck to the hand. But it's really versatile in that way. So that's the Dark Worm engine right there. Next is the Mythical Beast engine. Now I know the new structure deck that came out, the Order of the Spellcasters or whatever it's called, it has a lot of synergy with the Mythical Beast monsters. I don't play that engine, if you want to call it that, in this deck. Basically because, sorry, I gotta readjust the camera here real quick. Basically because I don't have much experience with it, and I just don't have the cards for it. This is just a very basic deck. This is the one I told my friend to use. So anyway, this is how it works basically. So you start with the Mythical Beast Master Cerberus, and all the Mythical Beast monsters, their pendulum effects say, if you have no other card in the pendulum zone, you destroy it and then do an effect. This one, you destroy it and you add a Mythical Beast pendulum monster from your deck to your hand. It's like level 7 or lower, I think. Yes, level 7 or lower. So you add this one right here. So you destroy it, you scale it, wherever you destroy it, it goes to your extra deck face up. Then you scale this one, and this one lets you special summon a pendulum, or a Mythical Beast pendulum monster from your extra deck. So what you'll do, you'll put this in the scale after you search it, destroy it with its own effect, and then summon your Master Cerberus to your pendulum zone there, and that's one of the cards you need to make Electromite. Excuse me. So anyway, that's the Mythical Beast engine right there. And the last engine is the Chronograph engine. Chronograph is just a very versatile card all around, but in this case, what we use it to do is we scale it, and then we use this effect to destroy it, and then special summon a Time Gazer Magician from our deck. That's basically what it says there, if you want to take a look at that real quick. But that's basically what that does. So those are 3 of our main starter engines in the deck. Now, the ultimate goal, like I said, with your starter engines is to make this guy right here, Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. Now, those of you who know what Pendulum is, you'll know what this card does. It came out about a year and a half ago, I think, in Extreme Force. It's a really great card. Basically, when it's summoned, it allows you to send a Pendulum monster from your deck to your extra deck face up, and then you can, once per turn, destroy a Pendulum monster you control, and then add one of the face-up monsters in your extra deck to your hand. And then whenever a Pendulum monster you control is destroyed, you can draw a card. Or if a card in your pendulum zone leaves the field, you draw a card. So basically, this thing is, I mean, it's limited to 1 for a reason. It's very, very good when it comes to what it does. So this is the main card you need to use right here. Let's just kind of, I don't know if I'll do these test hands, but I'll just kind of show you like what you do with it. So let's kind of set up actually, yeah, let's just go ahead and shuffle the deck here. Like I said, I don't have all the same sleeves on it, and also I don't think there are quite 40 cards in it. I just wanted to pick some stuff out of it to show you what it does, but we can sort of do a little testing here and there. So we'll just do a little cut right there. Excuse me. I'm a little under the weather here. So let's draw a hand. So we got Paw Desires, Jackal King, Harmonizing Magician. This is a good card to see in your hand. Mythical Beastmaster Cerberus, and Black Fang Magician. Okay, so we have some decent cards here. Ultimately, not really the best choice when it comes to like what we want to see in our opening hand, because, like I said, you kind of want to see more of your starter engines in your hand, which you got one, and Desires really does help too. But both of these are susceptible to hand traps, and ultimately the good thing, like the sort of upside to Pendulum, is that it's mostly not susceptible to hand traps, which unfortunately in this case we kind of are. But let's go ahead and proceed. So, excuse me. So we use our Master Cerberus, scale it effect, pop it, we search a, whoops, card over there, we search our Jackal King. I'm not going to shuffle for a little bit here because we don't need to draw yet. Then we scale our Jackal King, we destroy our Jackal King, and then we summon our Cerberus from the extra deck. I'll sort of put it right there just so we know where it's at. Then, excuse me, then we can go and do the following here. So what we can do is we probably want to activate our Pot of Desires first, just see if we can draw into anything good. So we'll go ahead and we'll do a shuffle first real quick, just because we didn't do that yet. And I didn't tell my friend to play Pot of Desires in his list, but if you're playing Pendulum, I highly recommend playing Pot of Desires. What's funny is that a lot of my friends and the other members of Team Blacktop YGO sort of have that pseudo-casual mindset when it comes to like Pot of Desires, thinking, oh, it's a bad card because you have to banish 10 from the top of your deck face down. Really, if you play it in the correct decks, it's not that bad of a card. It's actually really beneficial, and well, it says +2, or it says draw 2. So we drew into those two cards. Those are both really good cards, especially as starter engines. So that's pretty good. Let's see what we banished here, just see if we did anything important. So yeah, we hit the other two chronographs, the other harmonizing, Supreme King. Yeah, this isn't that terrible of a, I mean, we drew some pretty good cards here. So we'll put those over there face down. Then we can do a couple things here. We can use our Dragon Shrine engine if we want to. We can use our Chronograph engine. I think I'm going to save the Chronograph engine just because it has another effect as a monster that special summons itself from the hand if a card on my field is destroyed. So we'll go ahead and activate the Dragon Shrine. Oh wait, we can't do that because we control Cerberus. So yeah, we will have to use the Chronograph Sorcerer. So we'll go ahead and destroy Chronograph to special summon the Time Gazer Magician from our deck. Do a little shuffle here. Okay, so that's special summon there. Then we can go ahead and link these two into our Heavy Metal Foes Electromite. So let's get those down there. And that is that right there. So on activation, Heavy Metal Foes Electromite will let us send a card from our, excuse me, our deck to the extra deck face up. Since we have two high scales in our hand, and really we don't have any low scales yet, we kind of want to send a low scale. So we're probably going to send our Oath Dragon Magician. This is a good pick. Okay, next we're going to, probably going to, let's see, we're going to scale our Mythical Beast Jackal King. I think that's probably the best bet there. Actually, no, we'll probably scale the Black Fang Magician, and we'll use Metal Foes Electromite's effect to pop the Magician and add our, I'm sorry. Yeah, Oath Dragon's supposed to be in the extra deck, sorry. So we'll pop the Black Fang and add our Oath Dragon back to our hand. And because Electromite popped a card, its effect will activate, allowing us to draw one. I'll just do a shuffle real quick here. Okay, and draw a card. Cerberus doesn't really help us or anything like that, but it's there just in case. Excuse me. So now what we can do is we can scale our Oath Dragon Magician, and we can scale a Harmonizing here. Probably the best thing we should have done in this scenario is send Harmonizing, so I'll go ahead and correct that mistake. It's been a while since I've played this deck. But you want Harmonizing in your hand because it cannot be special summoned from the extra deck. So you want Harmonizing in your hand, which is why whenever we destroyed Black Fang Magician to add Oath Dragon back to our hand, I should have destroyed Harmonizing instead. So let's pretend that I did that. Let's pretend I'm not a bad player here. So our Black Fang's in our hand. We will go ahead and scale the Black Fang. We use Oath Dragon's effect because we have a Magician Pendulum monster in our other monsters or our Pendulum zone. We'll add the Harmonizing back to our hand. And now it is time to conduct a Pendulum summon. So, what should we do here for this? So, first of all, what we should probably do, we have to summon our Harmonizing from our hand, and what's required is summoning, I don't really know what's good here from the extra deck, but we should probably summon the Jackal King and the Chronograph Sorcerer here. And I'll sort of explain this in a second. And then we'll summon the Jackal King from our hand. So we'll go ahead and put that right under the Electromite there. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to, we probably want to keep one of the Jackal Kings because that's a really good negate effect. But since we Pendulum summoned Harmonizing, we're going to use its effect here to go ahead and special summon a monster from our deck. Now, actually, let me rephrase that here. Let's say we didn't summon another Chronograph here. Let's say we summoned our Time Gazer instead. This is sort of the full combo that I want to teach my friend here. It's a little bit better than what I was going to do. So anyway, so we summoned Time Gazer. This is level 3, and this is a level 4 tuner. Those are very important. So anyway, since Harmonizing was Pendulum summoned from the hand, we'll go ahead and summon, unless we banished it, we're going to summon a level 7 Janky Magician from our deck. So we'll go ahead and put that there. Now, its effects are negated, and it's banished if it leaves the field, but we're going to sort of work our way around that real quick here. So, what we're going to do is we're going to synchro with our Harmonizing and our Time Gazer to make a level 7 synchro. Now, we can do a couple different things here with this, but what we're going to make is Odd Eyes Meteor Burst Dragon. Now, whenever this thing's synchro summoned, or special summoned rather, whoops, let's put that there. Whenever it's special summoned, we can target a card in our Pendulum Zone and special summon it. So in this instance, I think we should probably summon our Janky Magician, or our Oath Dragon Magician right there. So of course we won't have that for next turn, but I don't think that really matters because we'll probably either draw into something, or we also have a level 4 low scale, or a Pendulum scale 4 low scale, which we can kind of use to our advantage. Nevertheless, the reason I want this is it's very simple, so we'll go after that a little bit later. So right now we're going to overlay the 2 level 7s we have to make Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. This thing doesn't really do anything right now. What it does, well, I'll show you in a second here. Excuse me. So basically, now we can overlay our Oath Dragon and our Mythical Beast Jackal King, and we'll overlay them into Naruto the Moral Leader. It's a pretty simple little thing to do right there. We don't want to overlay the 2 Jackal Kings because Jackal King has a negate effect. Given that it has spell counters, but right now it shouldn't have any on it, but we'll give it some because we'll probably just activate a Dragon Shrine here just for the fun of it. So now we link away the Electromite and the what is this called, Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon. Go ahead and link those away into Zephyr Metaltron. Alternatively, you can go into like Decode Talker or something, but Zephyr Metaltron's a pretty good card to go into. We'll put that over here. And then because, let's look at this here, because Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon was sent to the graveyard, you can special summon an Odd Eyes monster from your extra deck except Absolute Dragon. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at our extra deck here, and we're going to summon Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon. Now Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon is a negate, so that's why we're going to summon it. So we'll go ahead and put that there. Now we can go ahead and activate our Dragon Shrine, which will go ahead and let us put a Supreme King Dragon Darkworm in our graveyard, and more importantly gives us how many counters? Yeah, 2 counters on Jackal King, which gives it 1 negate for this turn. Now if our opponent activates another spell card or something, it gets more negates, but right now that's really what we're going for. So this field right here is a 3 negate field, pretty good overall. We have a Zephyr Metaltron, which helps us back up, helps us to recur some Pendulum plays if we really need to. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at right now. It's a pretty decent field, pretty standard play here. Sometimes you can't get like a Naruto. Sometimes, really a better thing to do is to, if you can, absolutely summon Borreload Savage Dragon. It's another really good card here. Sometimes if you know what your opponent's playing, like generally if you're going first turn and you don't know what your opponent's playing, Savage Dragon's a really good card to go into. Sometimes Tornado Dragon's okay. If your opponent's playing Mystic Mine, go into Tornado Dragon, go into Abyss Dweller if that's an appropriate card to go into. You just have to kind of know. But if you're able to get if you're able to set up your Vortex Dragon play without using your Harmonizing and the level 3, and you use Harmonizing to summon a level 4 instead, Savage Dragon is a much better card instead of Naruto. So that's just that. Yeah, that's basically it. For next turn, we've got the Harmonizing in hand that we draw. Alternatively, we'll have some other stuff here to do, but it's kind of tough for our opponent to break this board right here, especially as a very basic Pendulum deck. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Yeah, most people already know how this deck sort of works, but if you don't, now you do, I guess. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be Andrew from Team Blacktop YGO signing off. Thank you so much for watching.